Welcome to Statesboro, Georgia, and what many refer to as the prettiest little stadium in America and home to the Georgia Southern Eagles. But trust me, it can get a little ugly if you come in here and you're not an Eagle. Today, a showdown of a couple of foes from the Sun Belt. As we'll see, the Old Dominion Monarchs taking on the Georgia Southern Eagles. For EA Sports College Football, I'm Reese Davis, joined here in the booth by a couple of legends, and yes, we do use that term loosely. David Pollack from the University of Georgia and former Gator Jesse Palmer. Guys, let's get down to the field. Georgia Southern will kick it off to get things started. On the run from inside his own 5. He was looking for some running room, but not much to be found as he stopped at the 18. The Monarchs offense will have the football first. Let's take a quick second to call out some of the impact players their coaches mentioned in meetings this week. Anything you guys heard that really resonated with you?
Yeah, I love when coaches talk about guys that bring it every single day. Like, that we can depend on them. They can get other guys lined up. They're always motivated. They're always being a great teammate. These are the guys that coaches love.
And big-time players make big plays in big games, right? These are the guys that have to play well if they're going to win games like this. It'll be interesting to see what they do today.
Got 3 on first down at 2nd and 7. Pulls it and fires to the left. He's close to the first down, but they're going to mark him just a little short.
Early in the game, I love getting my quarterback in rhythm. Easy pitch and catch. You've thrown him 4,000 times. Not big shots, but just put you in nice positions on the next downs coming up.
The Monarchs are at the line looking to convert on 3rd and short. They'll try to run for it. That'll be enough for a fresh set of downs. He gets it to the 32.
It's a really good sign if you're on offense here. You're putting it on your offensive line on 3rd down. Critical down and distance, opening drive of the game. Let those guys fire off, get a hat on a hat. You can run the ball, pick up the first. You're around midfield. And all things looking pretty good here early for this offense.
They're looking for an advantage to the right. Breaks into the open. An explosive play in the running game as he's got the first down.
You want to settle everybody in on the road? You want to take the nerves away? Run the football. Really, really good job. The offensive line, they're physical and nasty. They're not nervous. They're not worried about this crowd getting loud. They just want to hit you right in the mouth, and they started the game off with some good physicality.
He'll keep it himself. Not much running room there thanks to this senior defender.
They go with the option. Quarterback keeps it himself. And look, we've seen this guy on tape, guys, break these tackles and take it the distance. This offense should keep dialing up these option plays. Don't let that short gain by the QB prevent you from running this scheme in your playbook.
He'll pull it on the read. Powers through the defender. Short gain on the play before he slides. Looks as if we have an injury on that last play, and we'll take a break to check him out. And the Monarchs line up, trying to move the sticks on 3rd and short. And the heat gets home. They knock him down back at the 45.
And the defense was all over it. They know 3rd down, the quarterback could be a viable threat in the run game. Played physical, played close to the line of scrimmage, made the big stop.
The Monarchs will call on their punt team. First time we've seen their punt team this afternoon. And nobody able to handle that punt. They'll let it bounce and roll out of bounds. So Georgia Southern's offense will go to work for the first time today. The matchup we'll be watching in this one really takes you back. Big-time running back going right into the face of a tackling machine at linebacker, David.
Yeah, and we're going to see this individual battle a lot, not just in pass coverage when they match up, but just meeting in holes. And who's going to win when they go head-to-head, that will be a big factor in who wins this football game. But, Jesse, one-on-one, this is going to be a show.
This is going to be an incredible matchup. It's going to go on until there's zeros up on the clock. Both of these guys have circled this game on the calendar because they knew who they were going to be facing. And two guys we know are going to play at the next level. But I think this is probably one of the better individual matchups we're going to see all season long.
That's caught. It's Brown. And with that stop, we are headed toward the end of the first quarter. We've reached the end of the first quarter, and it has been a defensive battle, and the stats tell the tale so far. Let's see if the offenses can find a little rhythm here in the second. If this offense had a little extra time to think about it, let's see what they have on third down. Back to pass, it's French. Unloads it left. And that one's incomplete. Worth taking a shot there, but couldn't hook up.
And that was a good effort. That was a good throw, good catch, but he just ran out of real estate. And if I'm a QB, you want to miss outside. You definitely don't want to miss inside, but, man, he didn't miss by much.
Georgia Southern brings on the punt team. They're able to put a stop to that return right at the 30-yard line. They've got a little time here to put together a productive drive late in the half. They'll move the tight end. Wants to throw on first down off the play fake. Looking down the middle. Complete with conviction on the crosser. And the explosiveness, the big gainer gets it to the 49-yard line.
Great job by the offense. Listen, if the defense is going to sit back in zone, you know what you got to do. Run those crossers across the formation. Those guys that are looking at the quarterback, they're not trying to pick up receivers all the time. Make those precise throws right in those holes. Get those first downs. Get those big chunks.
Leaves it with the back. And they'll bring him down after a short pickup.
That's a really nice play. It's impressive. When it's first down and the defense thinks you might be running the football, you still can line up. You can get some movement at the point of attack and find a little crease for your running back.
The clock winds down to 2 minutes, and we will take a pause for the 2-minute timeout. Plenty of work to do here on second and long. Looking to fire. With the catch, it's blocked. All down, but he has enough to move the chains. Just came out and fired a strike on the slant.
And those are tough catches to make because you know you're going to have that defender draped all over you. So you've got to have strong hands, and you saw that receiver pluck the ball.
And the Monarchs will have it 1st and 10. Looking to throw on first down. He's going for the big play. Catch and stride inside the 15. Defense makes a stop, but the chains move, and it's 1st and goal from the 8.
It's a scoreless game, but it feels like after that completion, that may finally break. It's been tough sledding for both of these offenses. That time, they had the matchup they wanted. They took the shot.
And he motors into the end zone. Touchdown, Monarchs.
And this QB's starting to do some work, man. The big explosive play in the passing game. You get inside the 10, you're thinking run. Everybody thinking run. You back it up with another pass, another great throw, and quickly this offense gets right to the end zone.
Setting up for the extra point after the first score of the game. And the extra point is good, and it's 7-0. A very efficient 5-play scoring drive. And they finish things off with an 8-yard toss for the score. Kickoff unit on the field, and this defense will be called on to protect this lead. He'll bring it back from inside his 5. Nice job executing all of the assignments as they put a stop to that return at the 22. First play of the drive comes from the 22. Back to throw, it's French. Fires to the wideout. Got his man downfield. Really good job to pick up a chunk of yardage and get it out to the 39-yard line. Man down on the play as the officials take a break to let him be checked out. They created a lot of breathing room with that first play of the drive. Now first down from the 39. Wants to go up top on first down. Quick completion on the out route. And he'll step across the sidelines after making a good gain on that one.
Well, you can tell those two have been practicing the out route all off-season long. They look like they could have completed that in their sleep.
And the Eagles with a 2nd and short to keep this drive moving. Wants to go up top. If the quarterback's a little more on target there, maybe they hook up, but it's an incompletion.
The offense just has not been able to find a way to get their rhythm going here in the first half. We just haven't seen it in the passing game. That was a really good example of it again. If they're going to score more points in the second half, they've got to make some adjustments here at halftime.
He wants to throw it again. Unloads to the wideout. Catch in the middle. It's Brown. They finally make the stop, and it's been this way this guy's whole career as a senior makes a play after the grab.
I know this isn't the start the offense wanted. They don't have any points so far in this game, but sometimes it just takes one explosive play to turn things around. And after that beautiful completion deep for the offense, that should give them a little confidence, a little momentum. They've now got us to be able to score points on this drive.
He'll do it himself. Plows through the defense. He's wrestled to the ground right at the 15-yard line, and a big red zone opportunity here.
Well, the QB decided to keep it on that one. And listen, if you had his athleticism, you'd want to keep it too. Almost every time they run these types of option plays. But he's just going to have to do a good job of understanding when to hand it off, when to pitch it, and try to keep this defense on their heels and read his keys. He's got a lot of talent. Just got to make sure he's making the right decisions moving forward.
Welcome to the frustrating reality of college football. Like, the guy at the quarterback spot, he can just do that. Pull it down, get positive yards, makes the defense have to account for him every single play.
To the air, it's French. Oh, they really could have used that catch there. Physical pass defense. It brings up a 4th down.
Bend don't break by the defense, right? They've allowed a lot of big plays, but here in the red zone, great job in coverage on that 3rd down, and now the offense is in an interesting situation.
They've decided to try to go for the field goal here. It's good. He hit that one right down the middle. That'll bring him to within 4.
And you want a touchdown and you want to be aggressive, but man, right down the middle, that obviously gives me some confidence down the road that I can trust this guy.
That late-in-the-half field goal always gives you a little boost going to the locker room, and they'll need to finish off these final few seconds and not allow them to answer. From inside the 10-yard line, he'll bring it back. He was hoping for something a little more dynamic, but they get him on the ground at the 20. They'll go to the ground. Slithers into space. Just searching and working for the running room as he gets it out to the 26. That's going to wrap up the first half here, and now we join Kevin with the halftime update.
Gentlemen, we've had yourselves a superb broadcast so far today in Statesboro. And a lot of coaches will say limiting the big plays and maybe hitting on a few yourself is key. But I'm more of a move the chains guy. Give me efficiency every day of the week and twice on Saturday. The offensive unit that subscribes to the less is more philosophy might be the one that leaves here today with a big fat W. And with that, let's send it back to the guys inside the prettiest little stadium in America.
The Monarchs will kick it away to crank up the second half. And he'll return it and try to get behind his blockers. And the returner could find no daylight. He goes down. Georgia Southern has it back, and here comes the offense again. They start this third quarter, one-possession game, and hoping to get an early drive going. There he goes! And he gets it up to the 36. It'll be a first down. The Eagles come to the line after ripping off that huge gain on the ground, trying to keep it going. From the shotgun now, here's an inside give. And he fights his way forward, gets away from one, but not much doing on that one.
That's a great individual play, and I love cornerbacks that don't just take pride in covering guys. I like guys that like to put their face in the fan and affect the running game. This dude is physical, and he impacts the defense because of that.
And those guys are really hard to find. A lot of corners, they're smaller. They don't want any part of the physical run game. Nice job sticking his face in there, setting the edge, making the tackle.
And there was nowhere to go, just stopped in his tracks in the backfield.
And you're seeing on both sides really hard to run the football in this one. You've got to give both of these defenses tons of credit. They are so physical up front. These defensive lines can take the game over, and right now, it's tough sledding on the ground.
On third and long, no secret what he needs here. The safe call on the wide receiver screen. And he's out of bounds after the nice gain, and maybe that is finally the spark to get this passing game going.
And right there you're seeing why a lot of guys like to call draws and screens when it's third and long. The defense is thinking you're taking a shot deep down the field, but if you spit it out quickly to a wide receiver in the perimeter and you find a few blocks, he gets a crease, then he takes off with the speed, and you still find a way to not just get the first down, but generate an explosive play.
A strike downfield. Ripping off a good chunk inside the 25, and they're set up with a first down.
The offense really struggled in the first half of this game, so it was important coming out of halftime. They were able to generate some momentum and get some rhythm offensively, and right now they look like they have it on this drive. Great news to see the quarterback make that last throw there to pick up the first down. They need him to play great in the second half.
Yeah, and it's a nice job by this defense understanding, listen, that QB is a threat, and they're going to run all kinds of options, and he's going to run the football. They were dialed in and got that sucker to the ground.
So now it's second and long. They'll try the running game off the right tackle. And he was fortunate not to lose yardage on that play, able to wedge it back to the line of scrimmage. Guys, Old Dominion has the lead here as we've reached the end of the quarter. They've built a cushion, they've got a nice lead. Now the task is finish the deal as you take a look at the third quarter stats. Here comes the fourth. Time to see who steps up, who makes the winning plays to take home that W. So we open the final period with a third down play. Throws to the tight end. Working the big fella to the corner. Gets out of bounds after the big play, and they'll be set up in business with a first and goal.
And that's a really good example of a quarterback and his intended target both being on the same page. The timing was almost perfect on that play. That's why they were able to convert the third down, now setting up first and goal.
Caught behind the line. It's Dallas. He is going nowhere. Stop at the line of scrimmage.
Well, give the defense credit on that one because they knew coming into this one that they were going to try to get this receiver the ball in a variety of ways. They were ready for the screen there, and they create a negative play.
They lost ground on first down. Now 2nd and goal from the 5. Give to the running back. They get him on the ground at the 3-yard line, but this defense is taking some punches.
And with the stuff there, Jesse, on 2nd down, this little 3rd to mid-range, you got 2 downs. What are you thinking here?
Maybe getting your quarterback out on the perimeter and giving him a run-pass option. See if you can get the defense in a bind.
They'll try to pass it in on 3rd and goal. Takes the easy throw in the flat. Touchdown, Eagles! And with that, they move out front here in the 4th.
Yeah, and a nice job in the 4th quarter making plays, and a nice job being on the same page. QB, receiver. You could tell he broke with the football. He caught it in stride, gets into the end zone. Nice pitch and catch right there. Nice chemistry by the QB and wide receiver.
If he can make this one, the lead will be 3. And the extra point puts them up by a field goal. Kickoff unit on the field, and this defense will be called on to protect this lead. On the move from inside his 5. Not a lot of space to be found. Good hustle by the coverage team, and they stop him at the 21. They'd love to put a long drive together here as they start from their own 21. He wastes no time and comes out throwing. Pulls it in. It's locked. They make the stop, trying to pick up just a little bit at a time to get to that 1st down marker.
This offense has their work cut out for them, man, because the coverage has been so tight. And if you're not throwing to the sideline or you're not getting past the sticks, this defense is going to tackle you inbounds like they just did on that last play and bleed the clock.
They'll go to work in the air on 2nd down. Grabbed in the middle. It's Butler. Once that ball was loose, offense didn't have a chance. Defenders everywhere. It's a turnover.
These crucial situations you practice so much. Inside of 2 minutes, they score, they win. Defensively, how do you bow your neck? You force a turnover, force the fumble, get the ball back to your offense. Go get me a few 1st downs. This one's over.
Georgia Southern has it back, ready to go to work on offense. 3-point lead, put together a great drive here, Jesse. You can turn it into a 2-possession game.
Let's do that. Let's get a touchdown on the board. Let's find out where our playmakers have the best matchups. Let's exploit those, David.
And it would put our defense in such a great position. 4th quarter, 2-possession lead, and makes it easy to play defense.
Plenty of distance between them and the sticks here on 2nd down. They'll try to keep this clock moving on the ground. A solid pickup there before the defense is able to make the stop. Defense uses a timeout quickly, trying to get that ball back and preserve time for their offense. A 3rd down play coming from the 32 as they try to keep the drive going. Quarterback running on the draw. What a job up front, and he'll lose a yard on that one. Timeout called there by the defense, desperate to get the ball back and save as much time as possible. And now on 4th down, they will put it on the shoulders of the kicker to save them with his foot. He boomed it through, a 50-yard field goal, showing off that powerful leg.
Give the defense a ton of credit in this sudden change situation. Their offense just coughed it up. And this defense comes out, they go 3 and out and force a field goal. That's a win if you're on defense.
So they're lining up to kick it off after that last drive. Put a 3-spot on the board, and now the defense will try to shut them down. He'll start the return inside his 5. Didn't find any crease in that kickoff coverage, and he'll be stopped at the 17. They'll get this drive going from the 17. They'll start this drive going to the air. Got it in the middle. It's Brown. He's brought down quickly. Minimal gain there. Still a bit short of the 1st down.
just get the feeling this defense is going to make it hard on them, right? They've got the lead, it's late, and they're going to try to tackle everybody inbounds. Offense is going to have to really work for this and be smart. You got to attack the sidelines. You got to throw first downs. You got to keep this thing moving vertically down the field.
Got it in the middle, it's Butler. Just gashing this defense, a big gainer to the 40-yard line.
Well, how about the offense setting that play up? We've seen earlier in the game a couple shorter throws. They're just trying to suck those safeties closer to the line of scrimmage, anticipating that they would get an opportunity to take a shot. They called the perfect play at the perfect time right there.
Looking downfield on first down. Complete to the left. He's finally stopped and brought down at the 15.
Tackle on the play at the 15-yard line. First down for the offense.
And the Monarchs have it with a 1st and 10. From the red zone, looking for a man. Plucks it out of the air. They'll spot the ball at the 12 after that completion.